Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome in.
Good morning.
Oh, Steve, joining us right when we start here. Nice. Welcome. How are we doing?
I was a couple shekels behind today.
That's all right. Huddy will not be joining us today. He is with Mr. Eduardo. They're doing a little in-person. I don't know. I think Eduardo put on some event in New York, so he's there, which is awesome and very fun. It's just be me and Dom today. But thanks for joining everybody. A little bit slower out there. I would imagine you feel the same, Dom. So
No,
we'll
really?
really no, couldn't you
You got the wrong guy.
didn't say. So we'll see what's out there. I mean, we'll go over our watch list. We'll do the usual. But I also have to get going right at or a little bit before really 10 Eastern. So we'll be a little bit shorter today. But Wine Wednesday tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. That will be live. That will be strong going. So any questions you don't get to answer today, we absolutely can take that to tonight. But anyways, welcome in, chat. Like and subscribe, and talk to me, Dom. What do we have on watch, if anything?
It is bleak. Um, yeah, I really don't have much. The only thing that I'm even watching, and I almost just didn't even post my watch list last night in Clover because I was like, couldn't come up with a list of like I didn't really believe I was going to take a trade today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but X4, XFOR is one that yesterday did start to do some volume when it started to spike towards the breakout level. And, I know the daily chart doesn't really show it, but the volume candles were really increasing on the intraday for a good 10 to 20 minutes. But we rejected the breakout level of 345 quite quite well. What is that on your chart? Is this pre-market highs above
Uh,
it?
yes. No. This is highs. Unless wait, it's off, right? No, it's wait. Highs are they gotta be. They have to be.
But whatever, I will keep on watch. I think it's around $3 right now. So if that does have really good volume and it's pushing over that 340, 350 area, I will keep an eye on it. This is the one that last week had a decent little breakout over the 220s and was halted like right into the close on news. I'm not even entirely sure what the news was, but it gapped up the next day and ended up having kind of like an overextended gap up type of like that type of day where it just kind of put in its high. And since then, we've kind of been basing in the 250 area, but we'll see if that one has any juice over the next day or two. Um, Fannie Mae, I have on watch for like, it's more of like a when it breaks 1150, 1160, I will be there, but I don't think I'm going to be there anytime soon. Um, and that's really it. I don't have a ton. I guess you could maybe say like H graph, like at like a first green day after a really nice move from like the 90 cent area to 270. But I know that there was a short report or two out on it um, yesterday, and it was quite weak and did continue to fade and fail. Um, so it's not a pattern I've been trade I have traded a ton on for OTCs this year because they're really the only OTCs we've seen are like BTQQF, whatever MTPLF, whatever that one
Yeah.
was, and like Fanny. But so, one every 2 months. So the first green day for me, just because most of them have not been all that liquid and volatile, I mean, voluminous, they have had good runs, but I'm sure it's probably, HCraft is probably right on the line for you in terms of how much volume you probably, a couple million a day is not crazy.
Right.
Um, so it could bounce, kind of already did bounce off of $1 yesterday at the end of the day panic. Um, so that's an idea, probably not one that I'm going to take, but that's pretty much it. What's the overall market gapping to?
And we're small down. Yeah.
Down? I don't know. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. I've taken two trades, one break even and one small loss, and I could see myself not pushing a button this morning.
Yeah, me as well. I don't see any gap and craps out there I like. Well, I guess I shouldn't say me as well. They're probably I'll have to take a trade because I have a very small short position on Fig. I would like to be saying a big position from 75, but I don't know what happened. The fills were insanely quick, and it didn't fill me yesterday. But I shorted like 20% of what I would have originally wanted at 73. So I still have a small position. I was very tempted to just cover it and leave it alone at the close, but I said let's just see it through, even no matter the size I have. So I do have that here today. In my watches, I said I was risking 76, but part of me is like, if this is just even pop back to my entry, somewhere between 73 and 76, I will just throw it in the towel. Ideally, it's just panics, very similar to yesterday, just right out the open. It goes into 65, 63, 60. I think 60 is maybe a little too ugly, but just want to see another pull, and I'll cover it there for a small win. H graph, yeah. I mean, I mentioned H graph of possibly bouncing, although I wouldn't be confident enough to take this as a first screen day. For the same reason why you mentioned Zom of like it's short report, it's up from 20 cents. Like there's totally a world there's whatever a bounce attempt this has is very weak and or lackluster. So it's not a play for me to actually put my hard-earned money on the line. But if it does bounce and it bounces somewhat decently and surprises me, let's say I don't know into $2 or high ones, that might be something I would look to short. But then again, I'm not really insanely profitable, if at all profitable, like when it comes to daily bounces like this, short wise. They do work, but I don't know. I've just never really positioned myself well enough to capture the right ones because there's so many ways they can happen. So we'll see. So nothing really, exciting for me there. Yep, put Fannie Mae on the list, but again, I don't think that's going to go anytime soon, like Dom said. Other than that, I mean, I exited a ton of swings yesterday. This market pull doesn't look like a ton, but I think it's the beginning of probably some more chop. That's not just this straight kind of pretty linear trend the last 3 months we've seen. And so this stopped me out of a lot of swings. I'm not really that eager to enter any new swings. My account is I shouldn't say mostly, but it's more cash than I've had in a long time. The only one I like that if it happens, which I hope it doesn't for just sake of overall markets, but I do like teed up here over 11. But longer it takes the better, and if it's going to happen in a weak market, I'm not going to love it nearly as much. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. We'll see what comes about the morning, but I imagine not much, and then we'll answer some questions, and then we'll get out of here. So ideally, Fig panics, right, like I said, almost immediately, and I could just cover that for a small gain, and that might be the only trade I have today. So, Wing, thoughts on open for a breakout trade or reversal? Not sure, or what would your Wing? You're killing me. Or what would your potential play if sets up? So you can't really. I mean, open. You can't really have a reversal and a breakout. I mean, yes, they can happen, but it's not going to happen on a chart like open, or really at all. I mean, if they happen, it's rare and it's usually on low floats. It was very common in 2020, 2021, but that's because it was an insane market and things just, the moment they started going up, they didn't stop going up and they just went from lows to highs and breaking out. So the breakout's not really till 5. You could argue 4 is a level because it's such a big resistance, especially after failing yesterday. But there's no reversal here. This didn't run 300%. This is up from 180 to 4, so barely 100. There's no setup here. Now I do have it. I have been mentioning it a lot in Clover that I do want to keep an eye on it for sure. I do not want a chart like this to go to waste and or be ignored. But as of this moment right here, there is no play. There's nothing to do with this thing. This could come right back down, for all we know. So just watching.
Would your do you have preference on, because I'm also watching it for like a play down the line, like big charts like this, it's not, to me, it's not always like, how can I get involved right now? It's like, what do I want to see to make the setup perfect?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, any sort of $4-ish multi-day breakout is something I would be thinking that probably triggers the 5
Mm-hmm.
breakout if we're getting massive volume and the hype returns to open, which it seems like it already has. Um, do you have a preference? Like, let's say Monday breakout. consolidation for the next 2 or 3 days and then break out versus like next Friday, like 5 to 7 days of consolidation.
I would like more time, the better. I would like it to never go below three-ish or high twos. Like I think it should hold this upper half. But yeah, if it happens in 3 days versus like 2 weeks, I would probably buy it no matter what. But I would feel much better if this actually went sideways for longer than a week. Kind of like here, right? Like kind of like this. I mean, it doesn't hopefully not this choppy, but I mean after once the first red day was done, I mean we had arguably 2 weeks worth of just consolidation between 170 and 250. A little bit too much range, in my opinion, but nonetheless set up levels that once it got going over these levels, here we are, a whole dollar a share plus higher. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But another trade that might be here, and I don't love it, would be neg under 86s. Kind of a mini breakdown. I would hope it doesn't happen today, but there's a world it does. And so let me just get some borrows just in case. If they're even cheap, and they're not. Ew. Like $1 a share plus, and there's like none of them available. Never mind. Never mind. It's gonna do it right now, and I don't care to pay $1.50 a share. Anyway, that's the market open. We'll watch and see what happens for a little bit, and then we'll answer some more questions here.
You can get neg for like 4 cents a share.
I see that, but it's only 400 shares available, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I want like a couple grand worth, so it's kind of not worth my time there. Which is so weird. Usually borrows become more available as it's gone backside. Like borrows were plentiful at the top for cheap. It's a little confused why they've gone insanely expensive. But FIG out the open, pull here. Let's see if we can go red. And then ideally below yesterday's lows. Or not.
We find that those breakdown trades are just like the best on day one, and then anything past that is like a chop fest lower that is tough to
Yeah.
hold through.
I mean, it depends on the ones that work. Like the ones that don't work, yes, day one's the best, and then after that, it's like okay, the party's over. But the ones that actually work really well, in my opinion, from my experience, the breakdown starts off not too great, but then eventually it speeds up and the ending is really good. Like it reminds me of CRWV. I screwed it up because the beginning was too choppy up here, right? So there was about 2 days of chop where it broke down, but not enough to make you feel confident about it, but not enough to stop you out either, technically, if you're risking like day highs or something. And then once it really went, and then even here on after hours on the 11th, I think it was down even lower. So like, but then it ended up gapping up. But like the speed up or the better move was towards the second half of the breakdown. And I think that's why they work, because it's like at first longs don't believe it. They're like, yeah, whatever. And then panic slowly sets in till it really sets in, and that's usually when the bottom gets put in. So then it really starts speeding up. I find those to be like the better kind of breakdowns. But again, you don't know that until they've already happened. So but we'll see here for FIG. Nice fail so far there. H graph, little panic further. Have to get below 1 though to get even uglier. But possible. This could go to 50 cents if it wanted to. The only swings I have left is MP. I have MP. I have a very fraction of a position left from like 65. This breakout here. Sold a little bit into this move and sold some more when it closed below the 10. And then now it's just risking the 20. And the 20 is like right here. I'm almost positive. Let me look real quick. MP. Yeah, I mean, we're there. So if it doesn't close here or higher, I'll be stopping out of that as well. And then I have Wolf. I have Wolf from this breakout right here at like 550, 560. Didn't work for 3 days, but then they got the Google news. And so now we are well above my entry, but because we've moved so quickly, moving averages are going to take a while to get up there. I think the 10 is catching up, though. The 10 should be closer if they load. And no, it's still down at 7. So we'll be a while before I even consider stopping out here unless some negative news comes out. And then I also have BM&R.
Talk like that, Kyle.
Say it again.
I wouldn't talk like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that to the bank. We'll see.
You were in the room saying Soldier Boy on Monday night.
Oh, I know, dude. That thing was
and then stopping out by Tuesday morning.
That was, well, I wasn't up 50+%, but yeah, this was quite disappointing. This was my most favorite chart going into this week, and it looked amazing Monday, and yeah, I'm lazy. I didn't even check if there was news, but like I just assumed like this just makes zero sense to me to do that. So I stopped out and will not be looking at it for a while, if ever, unfortunately. But BMR I technically have a swing on, but this is not like the traditional Kuomagi style swing. There's a much longer term idea that I've talked about in the room, and I don't really care to go into that thesis because it could be a 10-minute thing. But for those who are in the room, know I'm still along this one. Wow, neg triple bottom on 86.
Yeah, I kind of saw that more like it was probably going to be a bounce day.
Yeah. I would have liked it. I wouldn't have. I mean, I'm kind of glad borrows weren't available because I was hoping this was going to hold, or not even tested. Ideally, the fact that it tested it made me nervous, which is why I started to try to borrow some. But now I like it even more to where it could bounce and then maybe in a week or two come back down and try to break down. That'd be cool. Fig did go lower, but I don't think it broke yesterday's lows. Almost a perfect bottom. Oh, just slightly under. Like a couple cents. So actually, at this point, I'll probably risk day highs here. Like if you're gonna just fake out, go lower by like 10 cents, and then find the strength to come back to new highs on the day, then clearly a bounce is on. So we'll move risk down to 71 here. Opens is making a move to red green. But yeah, the stronger this holds up, the better. I mean, if it never even touches 3, it's even better. But makes me think the stronger this holds, the sooner this goes. So like you said, Dom, if this just never goes below 350 again, let's call it an extreme example. Like yeah, by Friday, by Monday, like this could be right back to 4, and I would be like, I don't love that, but I might have to trust it,
Well, I think there's a world where that could be more short squeezy though. The longer it consolidates, I feel like everyone can just get on board and be like, okay, this is where we're all buying. Then it can be tougher.
Right. But let's take a look. What else out there? Fig does still look weak. Sweet. Come on. Let me take a look at some questions. Hunter asks, ETHZ daily breakdown similar to Fig. ETHZ. Well, this one's an Ethereum treasury. It could, but I don't love it. The volume is practically non-existent, at least for now, today. But particularly no, because this is at some level going to start following Ethereum, in my opinion. And ETH is bouncing today, I believe. Yeah, we're up today, right off the 22, which is cute. But yeah, so particularly no, this would not be a high odds setup that I would enjoy taking or feel good about taking, let's say. Mason says, I've not taken a short all month. Have you, Kyle, besides Gap and Craps? No, I took a couple shorts on HGraph. Unfortunately, they didn't lead to much. The best short for me was this one. And then I unfortunately didn't. I saw the short report too late here to where it's like I saw that it happened, but then I thought my opportunity was over. And had I just like rethought about that, and I was like, hey, this could go lower, I probably would have tried to get short here, like, 160 plus. But I just, the idea was, it never really cemented in my mind, and so when it was actually starting to fade, I was like, "Yep, I let that one slip." So missed this actual backside. I think took a small loss to break even here, took a small little break even loss here. So besides the first red day, that's about it on the shorts here. I can look at my journal here, but I think that's about it. Neg was a miss. I mean, Neg, I like took a scrap of it, but again, it's so disappointing because there's been so many amazing red days on Neg here. It's just that they're gapping down, and so I hate gap downs, and so these were never. I missed fills entirely on this one. Didn't try this one. Did try this one. Got filled like super partial to kind of like Fig, where I just didn't care, and it is what it is. So, but. Come on, Fig. Give me like 65. I'll take that. Kyle, what do you say? You and generally trade August are very weak markets to trade. I mean, it's very subjective by weak markets. If you mean by seasonality in terms of the overall indexes, yes, August and September are the weaker months of the year. Whether that means anything for small caps, I don't have enough data on that. I did share my last YouTube recap that one of the two is historically slow for me. So not both, and it mixes. So like 1 month I might have a really good, like August could be really good, but then September sucks. Or then August really sucks, but September's good. Like it's always been one or the other. It's never been both being good. And it's oddly never been both are bad, right? One has always surprised me. I have and the reason why, if you're in the room, I've been pretty, not convicted, but pretty open and communicative about September being slowish in terms of the overall markets, only because if that theme is going to persist for my personal trading, where one is good and the other is bad, August so far has been pretty darn good to where I could end it right now and have one of the better months of my year. So it's like if August is the good one, will September be the bad one, right? I'm not going to take that to the bank. I'm still going to trade September like I would normally, but that's my own personal experience. In terms of what it is for small caps, I mean, it changes from year to year, right? P Daddy says, any interest in buying like SQQQ for the swings if the market pulls back? No, again, as much as I have been open about September being weak or pulling back, it's one thing for me to say something. It's another thing for me to actually want to trade it, right? And so no, this could pull back. That's great, but I have no real conviction or thesis as to why or where or in what time frame I should be taking a short on the QQQ. That's never been me. Likely will never be me. So if it pulls back, great. It'll fit along with the mental idea of what I thought September could or should be. But no, there will be no money putting more where my mouth is. It's not worth that. There's no reward for me in that, really, and only risk. Which broker allows you to trade foreign stocks like HGraph? Most of them, if you ask for permission. I think default on most brokers don't have you let you trading OTCs or foreign tickers. But if you ask them like, hey, I want OTC permissions and I want foreign ticker permissions, any decent broker should absolutely allow you to. So I would double check your broker, because if they don't, you need a new broker. How many setups do you play now, each of you? How many setups do you have, Dom, in your arsenal or in your portfolio?
Well, I think three is like that. I mean, there's variations of like a first red day. Like I would sometimes short like on a gap up, but also it's the same idea, extended stock,
Right.
looking for a big pull. Pretty much three, looking at breakouts, stocks that have ran that are consolidating, then breaking out higher over those highs. Reverse, or then we'll just go in order. Then first red days, if they become overextended in a pretty easy manner, 2 or 3 days up hundreds of percents, looking for a pullback of 20, 30%. And then once they've had that backside move, they've had a day or two of pullback, 60 or 40, 50% off their highs, to bounce them for a morning where some momentum comes back in and shorts cover. So that's pretty much all that I do.
There you go. Yeah, that's literally some of the best setups out there, or the most frequent. My, when I mean, I'd have to really count, but I would argue in the 7 to 10 range setups, but with a caveat though that like half of them don't happen nearly as much. Like my answer should be DOMs, but I will say there are more. But like again, half of those rarely show up. It's just that if they do show up, I do know how to make money with them. But even with the ones that do show up, like it's gonna be right. The breakouts, the first red days, are gonna be majority of my profits. Used to be a big pump and dump shorter, whether it was China pumps or OTC pumps. OTC pumps have kind of gone extinct, so which is sad. China pumps still are alive and well, but I don't want to step on that ticking time bomb anymore. Parallel shorts, but again, those happen very rarely. I'm shorting those maybe they appear for me maybe once a month, you know. So there's a lot out there, but the ones that are frequently are in gap and craps, right? So it's going to be like breakouts, first red days, gap and craps, the occasional first green day, but not a ton, and then and then the variation of breakouts would be if it's a breakout I'm playing on like H graph here, where I'm only going to take it for a day or two, or if it's now the new swing breakout Kuomagi style that I've added, in recent months. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But with the caveat, and one thing I'll say before our next question is that caveat is that is us in year 10. That is not us in year one. Don't if you're 6 months into trading, don't think, oh, Kyle and Dom said they have at least three or more. Like I need to have three or more. Incorrect. We didn't have three or more until at least a year or two in of profitable trading with like one or two setups. So less is more in the beginning. Dom, is CGTX not on your watches for a breakout over two? CGTX. Do you like this over two?
Totally. CGTX. Um, Sorry, I'm still getting used to like new charting when I don't have E-Trade open. Um, Volume's pretty light. Um, Even on the big volume days, it's kind of like random. Like the biggest volume day was the red day, or not the red day, the gap up day that held.
Yeah, Gap and Crab.
Decent move, what, 60, 70 cents to $2. I don't like it in the manner it's doing it right now because there's no volume. Like this looks like it would be days away if it did take place. But yeah, it's there, I guess. If it had big volume, was breaking out over two. It's one that can run a bit.
There you go. Fair.
I'll just throw an alert at 190 and see if it's doing a big volume on any one of those days. For breakouts like this that I'm not kind of like paying attention to and are a little choppy on the front side, I just throw an alert near the highs, and if my alert goes off and it pops up and it's doing massive volume that day, then I'll look at it for a breakout. But that's something I've tried to do a lot of over the past years. Really, just only trade the ones with volume. And if they don't have any volume, then leave them alone. Um, so. But what I expect to happen on something like this in this current market is that the volume will get worse and worse and worse, and even if it holds up.
Very nice. Um, 1 second here. Let's see. Okay. Does Cobra allow shorting H-graph since it's a foreign stock? Absolutely. The shorts I was referring you to on H-graph were at Cobra. Which, let me actually get this here. We have for those who don't have Cobra but are interested, we have a deal going on through Clover. Let me copy this link. So if you are interested in a Cobra account, sent it right there. Feel free to short foreign tickers if you're interested. Ooh, Fig. Hey, Fig. How are you? 67, making our way down. Okay. A few more questions, then we'll get on out of here. Kyle, is there a difference between dollar block and dollar volume, or both of the same? I have never heard of dollar block, BZ, so I wouldn't know. I do not know what that means. Like a block of volume, sure, but I don't know how would that compare or contrast to dollar volume on the day. Kyle, you're not taking NBY as a gapper 100% now, and let's take a look. NBY. Is this up 100%? I mean, at the highs it was. No, I really don't like I used to ignore Huddy on this. Huddy would always say like he doesn't like ones around $1, and I used to ignore him and take him anyway. But I have, especially in the last 2 months, just gotten very picky with gap and craps. Like it's like, and I'm not going to try to sit here and tell you that I know how to time them. Although the last time I shorted them was a good one. But I have missed some winners because of it. But I have missed some losers because of it. But in general, I'm like, they have to. I don't know what it is about them that I have to like, but I definitely know what I don't like, and like choppy ones above $1, right above $1, are like not my favorite at all. Especially ones that are not even up. Like if they were up like 300%, like if it went from 30 cents to $1, sure, then it's like a lot. But if we're barely up 80% here above $1, and it's got this kind of like bar coding action above $1, like it's just not. There's no gain I'm going to have here for me that's going to change my life, right? Or not even change my life, but make a significant dent in my account. And so for those reasons, the reward is just not worth the risk. Warren says, Schwab lets you trade F tickers. Yep. And again, any legitimate broker should. If they don't, get a new broker. Hey Kyle, did you short Lace yesterday? No, I did not. Lace was a gap and crap that worked that I did not short because it was an earnings winner. I didn't like the news. Thought it was a little bit not legit, but just I don't really like shorting a company that's just had blowout earnings for them. And then FAS. No, I did not manage it because I didn't trade it. Brent says, are either going to be a Clover or the Cobra trading roundup? Unfortunately not. No, I do have prior plans to said event. But for those who are in the Texas area, I highly recommend it. I think it's on their website. They do this every year. Great chance to meet traders and actually meet them as well. They're good guys. But yeah, unfortunately, we will not be able to make it. Kyle, do you have any interest in reverse Komagi multi-day breakouts, swing and shorting below the 50 and 200 SMA, the overall markets, examples like ARM and UPST? So I'm aware of it. Have I really looked into it seriously enough? No. I'm still trying to get just the long side of things down. So to immediately start flipping on the other side and start swing shorting some of these, I don't love that idea. I mean, I'm open to it. I know there's an edge there, but no. I maybe at some point, sure, but I'd like to get the long side down first and really feel comfortable with that, which I'm comfortable to a degree, but I'd like to be a seasoned trader in that regard, right? I've really only seen one environment, which is literally straight up. This would be maybe the first more not straight down, but the more choppier down environment we could see. So I'll learn from some of these moves that do happen, like UPSD. I mean, I see the breakdown, right? I see it there. Let's look at ARM. Yeah, I mean, I see ARM. ARM was actually kind of starting yesterday. So I'll use this as a learning experience to possibly do it the next time around. But The one I had missed yesterday, and it's not really a Komagi swing. It's more of just a general breakdown that I wish I took more sight of was MSTR. This was a pretty sweet level right here at like 360 that I just didn't even look. Mainly because after one of these drops here, I just took MSTR off my watch list because I just think it's absolute crap now. So I really wasn't even aware that it was this good looking of a breakdown. But once I saw it happen yesterday, too late, I was like, wow, this was such a good level. I wish I actually took this more seriously, or at least saw it, right? Even if for 5 seconds. But anyways, all right, 9:54. I do have to get going here, guys. So any questions you guys have or didn't get answered, feel free to either join the room or join us for Wine Wednesday tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, that's the morning. Nothing crazy. Still no trades taken from Dom or I. Fig, I'll still sit in this to see if I can get a little lower. There's no real strong strength here, so I can be patient for a little bit longer. But I do think I'll cover it by today no matter what. But yeah, anything else, Dom, before we leave them on their day?
Oh, it's rough out on the streets. Yeah, I mean, yesterday we did a webinar and I said like I think all but two stocks were red on my list, and just my list of tickers that I'm keeping on watch. Right now, it's three stocks, and one of them is neg that we already talked about. That's bouncing. The overall market is just, geez, rolling over right now in the intraday.
Ooh.
I hate to say it. I hate to continue to say it, but sometimes no trade is the best trade. It's all about preparing for the next opportunity or series of opportunities. And what I always try to ask myself is, let's say it's Friday, let's say it's next week, let's say it's in 2 weeks. When I get to that moment where I see an A plus breakout or the best reversal of the year or an amazing runner for a first red day, do I want to be down 10R or do I want to be down 0R? I will choose 0R every time. It doesn't mean if there's an opportunity, I won't take it if it fits criteria in that meantime. But what I definitely don't want to be doing is loosening up my criteria, taking stuff that is subpar, taking stuff on super low volume, taking things that are going against the overall trend. 3 out of 4 stocks follow the market. Um, just not the time. And I hate it. If you're a full-time trader and you're just, getting into full-time, you just had some success and this is your first really slow period. It sucks. You can feel like it's 10 a.m. and it's like, okay, I budgeted, I was going to work till 4 today, and now what do I do? Now it's time to study. Now it's time to review. Um, it sucks. It's frustrating, but don't let it discourage you. Don't let it get you down because an opportunity is on the horizon. Where that is, how it is, when that is, I don't know. But I know that if it doesn't, we'll all be out of the job. So I'm going to be positive and what's optimistic that that is coming. And so I will wait for that day and wait for that opportunity. Until then, I will still stay safe.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and hopefully see you guys tonight. Thanks so much. Bye.